Hey guys, how are you all doing? Welcome to my channel. So, today we are gonna see, what if Naruto x Mikoto x Mei Terumi movie. So before we start, go check out the author of this fanfic, KingSeahawk, link is in the description, also subscribe if you enjoy the video. Let's start the story. Lady Terumi. We must retreat. Yagura has found us, we need to move the people away from here. Shouted a Mist Ninja, as explosions went off from kunai with explosion tags on them. The woman who stood at 5'8" 1D2 tall, looked no older than 23 with long auburn-colored hair and a bust that would make any woman jealous at the attention draws, gritted her teeth as she realized the danger her followers were in. Let's move out. Everyone head to quadrant uniform. I repeat, quadrant uniform. We'll regroup there and figure out our plan of action. Just take the essentials with you and scrolls. Seal everything. She yelled out before turning to where the explosions were going off with venom in her normally peaceful emerald eyes. Yagura, when will you end this war? She said softly to herself before marching out through all the explosions. Any enemy shinobi she encountered were instantly cut down with her mist that seemed to burn its victim like acid. Soon she came face to face with the man she was battling this war against, Yagura Karatachi. This ends here, Yagura. Mei yelled. Indeed, so does my former pupil. Yagura said before opening his eyes and yelling out, wind style. Supreme Typhoon Mei was hit with a huge gust of wind that took her by surprise, and it blew away any of the mist that made this land famous. He never showed that around me. He must have kept some to himself in case something like this ever happened. Mei thought. I see you figured it out, Mei-chan. The teacher always keeps a technique or two up his sleeve in case the student ever comes back to try and kill them. Yagura said as he went through some hand signs with cage-like speed and precision. Water style. Water dragon, Yagura said as a huge water dragon appeared from practically nowhere and slammed into Mei before she could do anything. Mei was knocked back 10 yards soaking wet and breathing hard as Yagura walked up to her. You still have a lot to learn, Mei. Remember, I'm the Mizukage of this great nation. Yagura said before lifting his club up. Mei's eyes grew wide knowing what was coming next. Whenever Yagura slammed his club into the ground the way he was about to coral, it always blasted from the spot of contact, absolutely shredding the target, leaving behind only a bloody mess. Mei was helpless and couldn't do anything. What could she do? This was her former teacher, the one who taught her everything she knew. How could she possibly beat one of Yagura's signature moves to finish an enemy? Those were the last thoughts before Yagura slammed his club down on Mei's forehead where coral and water exploded. Yagura had a sickening smile on his face before he realized something was missing from his attack. There was no blood. All that there was left was water and a huge piece of coral. She outsmarted him by sending a water clone to deal with him. That's why she never countered or did anything. His face became straight as he turned around and walked away and towards where his troops would be after taking her camp. Seems like Mei-chan may have learned a thing or two since I last saw her. Yagura thought of dragging his club on the ground and leaving a small trail of coral with it. Miles away, the real Mei Terumi felt her clone disperse and knew it bought her and her group of followers enough time to get out. They ran all night and eventually made it to one of their final basicums they had set up in case they were discovered. Once everyone got settled, Mei looked out and saw that they did lose a few people, but there were still many in this group. This rebellion is going to cost us a lot of people that I can't afford to lose. Mei said, gritting her teeth and clenching her fist. We need someone to help us change the tide of this war. She said to herself and sent out a silent prayer hoping someone would receive it. Konoha, a young man with bright blonde hair and equally bright blue eyes, was running through his home village of the Hidden Leaf. His name is Naruto Uzumaki. Both of his parents died the night the nine-tailed fox attacked, but he never let the fact that he didn't have parents stop him because he did have a family who stepped in to take him in. That family would be Mikoto Uchiha and her husband Fugaku Uchiha. Together the two had two of their own boys, both respected in the village by different people. The younger one being Sasuke Uchiha, who was the same age as Naruto, just a few months older than him, making Naruto the baby in the family. The elder brother was Itachi Uchiha, who earned the rank of Anbu at a very young age and even became a captain in the Anbu. After rumors of an Uchiha rebellion started to form, the Hokage was able to set up a meeting between Fugaku, Itachi, and himself, with Itachi being the mediator. Surprisingly, it went well. Itachi was able to enlighten the Hokage through peaceful translation when Fugaku got a little carried away with emotion. The Hokage understood why the Uchiha were upset and came up with a system to keep relations strong with them. With the Uchiha being a founding member of the village, they felt that they weren't getting the respect they deserved, as they were always looked at differently for their red eyes that were special only to them, the Sharingan. Fugaku felt that whenever issues came up with other clans or the people in general, it was always dealt with quickly, but whenever the Uchiha had something, it was dealt with gripe. The Hokage decided to do something never done in the history of the village, have someone other than the Hokage be the head of the council. Meaning they decided what was talked about, how issues were handled, where they think money should go, calling for meetings, and other things of the sort. Fugaku was very pleased to hear this to the point where he even put a smile on his face, and seeing that smile only made to Hokage and Itachi smile with pride. So Hokage-sama, who will take this position of head of council? Fugaku asked. You of course. The elder man replied before chuckling. Fugaku's eyes went wide at hearing this. The Hokage trusts me to be the head of the council. Fugaku immediately accepted, which prompted the Hokage to call for an instant meeting with the council. Council meeting room. Inside there were about 21 people. 9 were clan leaders, while 11 were representatives of the civilians, leaving the last spot to the Hokage, who was always a part of these meetings. Once everyone was situated at a seat at a giant round table, the meeting began with the Hokage. Now, as you all know, since the beginning of this village, the Hokage has always been the head of the council. As of today, that changes. He started, which caused nearly everyone's eyes to go wide. The only person who wasn't surprised was Fugaku Uchiha. What do you mean, Lord Hokage? Asked a man with I mean that recently I had a meeting, and it has come to my attention that with me being Hokage, and always in the office trying to maintain the peace of this village, as well as having good relations with other nations, I've let something slip through the cracks that should be number 1 on any cage's list to listen to the people, and hear directly from them what their problems are. By relinquishing my position, I will be able to have some time each day to walk around the village and hear from the people themselves the things they would like to see happen to this village. Then when I consult with the head of council and the rest of the council, we will come to a decision on a course of action. I know this is new and it may start off rocky, but if you give this person a chance I'm sure they will do great. He said, looking around, smiling at the group. So, from this day forward until he relinquishes the title or the Hokage decides to relinquish it for them, I declare that Fugaku Uchiha be the head of council. The people were shocked, but most all began to clap and congratulate Fugaku on this achievement. Fugaku stood up and cleared his throat before speaking. Thank you, Lord Hokage. Now I promise to you, the council of Konoha, that I will do my best to serve you and the people of our great village. Together we can help bring this village to the top and become strong for years to come, not just militarily with our shinobi ranks, but economically, we can become the superpower of the world and make it to where people who lose their homes can find a place here in Konoha. Fugaku said that everyone could feel the passion and love he had for their home. The clan heads were all on board with whatever Fugaku would want to do within reason, and just about all the civilian representatives were liking where this was going. Now, as we all know, Konoha is 16 miles in diameter in every direction. I would like to propose that we expand it to 20 miles in diameter. Fugaku said, to which people were unsure, but the shinobi clan leaders saw exactly why. Why should we do this, council head? Asked one of the civilian reps. With an increase in diameter, our village expands 2 miles out in every direction. This means we have more land. More land equals more training fields for our shinobi, more homes can be built and expanded, more businesses can start up and find a home, plus the building of this would require jobs. Our genin needs experience since they just graduated from the academies and they're now seen as adults, so what better way for them to start making money for themselves and building teamwork than by helping our village expand. Fugaku explained, to which the representatives all nodded in agreement and raised a hand to show their approval. All the clan heads liked the idea for multiple reasons, causing them to raise a hand. Finally, the Hokage smiled and raised his own hand. Then it is settled. We will expand our borders, giving our people new opportunities. Fugaku said, and with that the meeting was almost done. Just one thing, Fugaku. The Hokage said, which garnered everyone's attention. As the new head of council you must elect someone to represent the Uchiha. The only condition is that it must be someone who isn't a direct descendant of you or in your family. Fugaku smiled, knowing exactly what he meant, Naruto. Since Naruto was his adopted son, he couldn't take up the mantle, nor could his other 2 sons. It only took Fugaku a moment to figure out who he'd put on the council. I elect Shisui Uchiha. He's well respected in our clan, and our people love and trust him. He will do well even at a young age. Fugaku said. The shinobi who worked with him could only nod in agreement. Very well, Crow. The Hokage said out of the corner, and Anbu appeared. Yes, my lord. Find and report to Shisui Uchiha that he is the new representative for his clan. Since Fugaku is the council head, he will still be the clan head, since that is nothing any of us outside the clan can determine, but he has been elected to be the new representative. The Hokage said, to which Crow nodded and left via Shunshin. Now if that is all, this meeting is adjourned. Today marks 18 years since we lost our Hokage, Minato Namikaze, along with a family friend of mine, Kishina Uzumaki, and many others that night. But it also marks the 18th birthday of my youngest son Naruto. Fugaku said, beaming with pride at the mention of his youngest son. But that the council dismissed, and Fugaku took off home to get ready for the surprise party they planned for Naruto. Naruto was walking home from the hot springs as he decided to take a relaxing soak courtesy of a birthday gift from his older brother Sasuke. Man, that soak was great. Naruto said out loud as he was walking back home to the Uchiha compound with his hands over his head, looking up at the moon that was beginning to rise and the sun setting. A full moon tonight, huh? He thought. Yugaku was rushing home trying not to be late to the surprise party, and thank Kami he saw he wasn't late. Being the head of the clan, he had the biggest house in the compound, so everyone in the clan was rushing to get to the house before Naruto got home. Sasuke bought them just enough time as everyone got in the house and turned off the lights. Not even 10 minutes later Naruto walked in the compound but found that something was off. Nobody was outside. Something's going on today. Naruto just quickly ran to his house and saw that the lights were out, which really made him curious. Kachan should be home by now, same with Sasuke unless he's out with soccer. Naruto thought as he slid the door open and closed it before flipping on the lights, where he got a huge surprise. Surprise. Happy birthday, Naruto. Everyone yelled, jumping out of nowhere as streamers, confetti, and the whole 9 yards were used to wish Naruto a happy birthday. Naruto was so shocked that he instinctively pulled out a kunai in a reverse grip ready for battle, but busted into a smile seeing there was no danger. Mikoto ran up to her adoptive son and gave him a huge hug, wishing him a happy birthday again as Naruto hugged her back. Next it was Sasuke and Itachi who came up and wished their little brother a happy birthday. After them it was their father Fugaku who came up and playfully punched Naruto in the chest, and Naruto decided to further the game by tackling him and started to wrestle. Naruto was able to pin him and they got up laughing. "You're too young for me, son." Everyone was having a great time as the party went on in the compound with some of the other clan leaders and their kids there since they were all friends with Naruto. The party moved outside to the backyard where they had set up poles and strings were connected to each pole and lights were hanging from them, music was playing and people were laughing, dancing and just having a great time. Naruto was just watching all his friends and family have a good time before Mikoto came up to him. "Sachi, come with me really quick," she said, tugging his arm, and he followed her inside where nobody was. They sat down on the couch where Mikoto was blushing a little. "What's up, Kachan?" Naruto asked. "Well, I wanted to let you know that you'll be getting your gift from me later when everyone leaves," she said, kissing his cheek and giggling like a schoolgirl before getting up and leaving. Naruto was confused and got up to find his brothers. He quickly grabbed the two and they jumped to the roof out of sight of anyone. "What's up, Naruto?" Sasuke asked. "Well, Kachan took me inside to tell me that I'll be getting my gift from her when everyone leaves. Then she kissed my cheek and left giggling like a fangirl," Naruto said, looking confused as hell. Itachi smirked knowing what his gift was. Sasuke also knew but kept a straight face. "Guess you'll have to find out, Naruto. I'm sure you'll enjoy it though," Itachi said, getting up and jumping back down to the party with his girlfriend Izumi Uchiha. Sasuke did the same, jumping down to Sakura. "The fuck just happened? They didn't tell me shit about it," Naruto said to himself before getting back to the party. Land of Water. Mei was looking out at her camp and saw just how many people were left. "But the way things have been trending, Ao says they should find us in about 2 to 3 months. If they really want to find us, then a month at most. But I think Yagura won't worry about us too much. We were able to get most everyone out, but we still lost some, and to him that's enough of a victory. He's just gonna make us bleed out and die instead of going for the kill. He wants to enjoy seeing us suffer. That bastard," Mei thought with a straight face. Everyone in her camp was looking worn out and ready to just give up on their rebellion. This rebellion has been going on since the beginning of the year, and it started out slowly before people came to realize that Mei was a strong individual who could lead them and protect them. It started with 5,600 people, all of whom could use some sort of bloodline. Since then the numbers have dropped to a mere 250. A lot were killed at the beginning by Yagura before he let them go and let winter kill them. Mei countered, hitting small camps every now and then to weaken him, but she still lost people, and it seemed like for every camp they hit 3 more popped up. She was fighting an uphill battle. Going back to the numbers, Ao predicts that by the end of winter there will only be 50 people left, maybe less depending on if and when Yagura will strike. "This isn't good," she said softly to herself. "Kiri, Izuku-sama, the enemies have gotten away. Would you like us to chase after them?" A young man said on one knee, bowing to his leader. "No, let them camp out in the winter," Yagura said. "But my lord, no. A few things will happen in this scenario. They will lose numbers from the winter and all the illness that comes with it. They'll go crazy over the fact that we haven't attacked in months and kill themselves, or they'll be alive and in the same spot they're in right now, ready to be picked off. Either way there's no escape. That is final. Understand?" "Yes, sir." "Good." "Dismissed," Yagura said, sitting back in his chair. "I will enjoy this hunt." Slowly, but surely they'll die off and understand at the end of everything why I am to be feared. Yagura thought. Back with Mei. Mei, if you don't mind, I think we should move again before winter sets in. Ao started getting Mei to look at him with curiosity. Yagura could have spies out here right now, so I think it would be best to go to another camp we have set up and lay low for the winter. Maybe one of the islands around the mainland, or even the land of waves. Not the land of waves. Mei said. Why not? They're a small island country that no one messes with. I'm sure they would accept us. Ao said. Beto still controls that land. That son of a bitch has run their people into the ground so far that when they look up they see the bottom of their coffins. We'll wait out the winter here. Besides, our other camps are no more, and even if we could go to waves, we could only bring a max of 10 people without it looking suspicious. Gato's got the place under surveillance 24/7. We stay here, and that's final. Understand, Ao? She asked with strong authority that it was more of a command for him to understand than anything. Yes, ma'am. He said before walking away thinking pessimistic shit to himself. With Naruto, the party had died down, and people began to leave. Mikoto was getting anxious at what this all meant. Soon Sachi will be able to receive his gift. Naruto also remembered what his Kachan said about his gift. He was getting more and more curious as more people began to go back home. Soon after everyone had left, it was just Naruto, his brothers, and parents. Fugaku went straight to bed and was out like a light. Once he was asleep, nothing could wake him up unless it was during a time of war. Sasuke and Itachi didn't stay too long after everyone had left, as they both went home with their girlfriends to spend the night over there, leaving just Naruto and Mikoto as the only ones awake. Land of water. Mei was looking out to the night sky, seeing the stars before sighing to herself. We need a hero. We need someone to change the tide of this war before we all die. We're alone out here. I'm alone. She said softly before looking down. The rebel leader, Mei Terumi, stood just outside of her tent looking at the rest of her rebellion. She couldn't believe just how many people were still staying strong and hadn't died from illness or carelessness. Hopefully we can change the tide of this war soon. Mei thought. Just then a woman ran up to Mei. Mei, I've got some news. Some people from the Leaf Village are in the land of waves. We're nearby, maybe they could help us. She suggested. Mei looked at her before turning and thinking maybe they could be beneficial. You and I will go after them alone and see if they can help us. Do not tell anyone, to understand? Mei asked. Of course, I do. I am your older sister after all. The woman with red hair said with a spunk as she turned away, winking at Mei. I'll never understand her. Mei thought as she too turned to her tent and packed up. Walked into Mei's tent to see her packing. Where are you off to? My sister says some Leaf shinobi are in the land of waves, so she and I are gonna go investigate and try to recruit. Stay here and keep things in order. We should be back in 2 weeks. Mei said as turned and left thinking negative shit as usual. Land of waves. 4 ninjas from the Hidden Leaf were walking back to their destination after training for the day. Kakashi-sensei, when are we gonna learn some higher level techniques like you know? Naruto asked. When I feel like you're ready. Kakashi replied, smirking back at Naruto as he headed inside the house they were staying at. Naruto grumbled but headed inside after Kakashi. Through the tree line, 2 pairs of eyes were watching the Leaf shinobi with intent. What do you think about them? Mei asked her sister. They're a decently put together group. The sensei seems to be very skilled and maybe covering like Ao does. The young kid with black hair seems like he could be an Uchiha, which is useful for their team with the Sharingan. The pink-haired girl seems like she is complete garbage. I definitely don't see her as an aggressive fighter like the other 2. What about the blonde? Mei asked. He's probably the most interesting one. Why do you say that? Well, first off, he's fucking hot. I mean, look at those whisker marks and the wild hair, and not to mention his build. Kami, I'd die to have him. The older sister said, blushing a little and drooling a tiny bit. Be serious, Baka. Mei said as she punched her sister's arm. Okay, geez. You don't have to hit me to agree with me. But on a serious note, he'll probably end up being extremely powerful. I don't think he realizes just how much chakra he has. His reserves will be bigger than mine if he keeps up his training. He seems like the type to be able to get hit and give hits too. He kinda seems like the all-around type of shinobi for his team. Well, that's at least comforting. Hopefully they can help us turn the tide. If that blonde turns out to be as strong as you say. Sounds like a bet. What's the term? Well, like I was saying, if he turns out to be as strong as you say, I'll tell him he can have any woman from our group he wants, doesn't matter how many there are, and yes, you'll get a shot at him too. Mei said with a little sarcasm, not expecting her sister to take it seriously, but she looked to see her sister light up with joy. And believe she's horny for a kid. Well, actually, seeing how big he's built, I guess I could call him a man, a young man at the very least. I wonder if the muscles are just for compensation. Kami, I hope not. Mei thought as she and her sister left for their hideout. Every day for a couple of weeks Mei and her sister watched the Leaf Shinobi train to complete their mission, but while also surveying them, they also found out why they were there, Gato. It seems that while Mei and the rebels have been dealing with their own issues back home, their sister islands were being put through hell by Gato. Today that was gonna change. The day was the day Mei and her sister were gonna take it upon themselves to kill Gato and rid the land of waves of its oppressor. Gato HQ. Mei and her sister were in the tree line just outside of Gato's mansion where he operates out of. The building was 5 floors high, with gates all around the property and guards everywhere with all sorts of weapons on them. Are you ready for Mei? Mei nodded and the two Ritids both weaved hand signs and said together, water style. Hidden mist jutsu. A thick mist covered the property and the guards were immediately on alert. The two most Kunoichi swapped in and in a matter of minutes all the guards outside were killed. They regrouped by some bushes before proceeding. Hey, did you see those things by their mouths? Mei asked. Yeah, what are they? I think those are really advanced pieces of tech for communications. When we go in we need to make sure that none of them can alert the others. So, kill them and keep their mouths shut. Exactly. Mei replied. Just your run-of-the-mill infiltrate and assassinate mission. The older Ritid said grinning. I guess you could put it that way. Alright, let's move. But that the two Ritids quickly went through the mansion slaughtering every guard they saw. Blood was staining the walls and you couldn't hear a single cry for help or of pain. Finally, after slicing their way through everyone in the building they made it to the door where Gato's office is. The sisters let out a breath of air and not realizing they were holding in any. Are you ready? Mei asked. Born ready. The two nodded at each other before Mei kicked the door open and her sister threw 3 kunai through the middle. The kunai buried themselves into the wall behind the desk in the room, but there wasn't any noise. They looked inside and saw that the room was empty. The desk had some monitor on it that the Mist Kunoichi had never seen along with some papers. They looked to the screen and saw that they could see the outside of the property and inside the mansion. He was fucking watching us the whole time. Damn it. Mei yelled, punching the monitor to pieces. I think I know who he sent to kill the bridge builder that the Konoha team is protecting. Who? Mei asked and was tossed an envelope. Look at the name on the front of the envelope. Mei did and her eyes grew wide. Zabuza. We need to get back to the bridge now. Mei yelled as she took off out a window and landed gracefully on her feet with her sister following suit. What's the big deal? Think about it. Zabuza was hired to kill the builder and Gato isn't here anymore. Gato is headed over there. We need to hurry up and cut him off and kill him before he can come in contact with Zabuza and expose us. Mei yelled as they pumped chakra into their core and legs to give them more explosive steps to cover more ground. Gato was about a mile from the bridge and was constantly looking over his shoulder for those two female ninja. He was running as fast as his short fat legs could carry him. He looked back and saw nothing and when he turned around he saw both Ritid females towering over him and each one had the head of one of his bodyguards. They dropped their heads before Mei nodded and turned around as her sister chopped Gato's head clean off. She sealed it up and they continued on to the bridge hoping to make it in time. Soon they got close to the bridge to be able to see it and all of a sudden they saw this crimson chakra soon into the air in a spiral formation and it made Mei's sister stop dead in her tracks as she looked like she had seen a ghost. Hey, what's wrong with you sis? This chakra. It feels so violent and nasty like it's trying to suffocate me and the worst part is it feels familiar. She said looking at Mei with fear as her normally creme-colored skin turned pale white like a poltergeist. Are you gonna be okay? Mei asked with concern and worry in her eyes. We can always return home if you want, she said, but her sister shook her head in defiance. No. We need to go home with help, no matter who it is, she said, steeling her nerves and standing up tall. Let's move. But that the sisters got to the bridge to see it covered in a heavy mist and the crimson chakra had died down. Everything was quiet for a minute, too quiet. I don't like this Mei, everything's too quiet, even for the mist this is really quiet. I know just stay before Mei could finish a loud chirping noise could be heard and they saw white light flickering and snapping out in all directions. What sort of lightning jutsu is this? The redheads thought as they saw the Jonin of the Leaf team stab Zabuza through the chest and almost instantly kill him. Zabuza coughed blood up and looked down, seeing Kakashi's arm through his chest. Looks like you win this time Kakashi. Zabuza said, smiling before sliding off Kakashi's arm and dying as he hit the cement. Zabuza. Mei whispered in a hushed tone. No way. Kushina said seeing one of the 7 swordsmen of the mist get chopped down. Breathing heavily, Kakashi fell to one knee where his vision became blurry and he had to quickly cover up his Sharingan. Masks on. Mei said and the two most Kunoichis put on Mist Anbu style masks to hide their identities. The older sister also threw her hair into a low messy bun in case the worst case scenario came too. Mei, what should we do about the blonde? He could be very useful. You're right. Maybe we can get a meeting with the Hokage or something. Mei suggested. The two slowly walked up to the group. Greetings, we're shinobi formerly from the Hidden Mist. We want to thank you for taking out Zabuza, as he was a rogue ninja. We also want to let you know that we went ahead and killed Gato for you. Mei asked as her sister tossed the scroll to the formerly. Kakashi asked, standing up slowly and still panting, but cautious of them. We're currently in a civil war. I'm the leader of the rebellion forces trying to overthrow our tyrant of a Mizukage. Mei said. I'm sorry, but before you ask, no we can't help. Kakashi said. Why not sensei? Sasuke asked. Because this is a war, I can't just make a decision about involving you kids in a war away from our homeland. Lord Hokage is the one who will make the call. If you want you can come with us to speak with him. Kakashi answered. I'm sorry, but we can't, we've been away from our group for too long, hopefully we can meet with him sometime in the near future. Mei said. Kakashi nodded, then turned to see Sasuke gone. Sasuke. Sensei, come quick, Naruto isn't breathing. Sasuke yelled out as he sat next to his brother with a panicked expression. Mei's older sister tensed up at hearing the name Naruto like it was familiar somehow. Mei caught the quick body motion and quietly asked her, are you alright Mei-chan? That name, it's so familiar. She said right before her head started to hurt and she dropped to one knee clutching her head. Mei-chan. Mei said, kneeling down with worry on her face. We need to leave, now. Mei's sister said with Mei nodding and grabbing her left arm and wrapping it over her shoulder and the two vanished. Naruto. Kakashi said getting close to him and seeing that he truly wasn't breathing. Kakashi lifted Naruto's shirt to see his seal was pulsing. This isn't good. Kakashi said get him back to Tsunami's house now. Kakashi barked out to Sasuke who picked up his little brother and sped off. Hang in there little bro. Uchiha thought to himself. Tsunami's house. Kakashi nearly kicked down the door as Sasuke carried Naruto. Tsunami heard the crash and came around the corner to see Naruto unconscious and gasped before making some space on the floor of the living room. What happened? Tsunami yelled. I don't know. Sasuke yelled back. He used too much chakra. Kakashi said and he took off Naruto's jacket and shirt to see the seal pulsing even more. Damn this isn't good. Where's Master Jiraiya when you need him? Kakashi thought to himself. Naruto was still not breathing and the color was fading from his face. Sensei can't you do something? Sasuke said in frustration. I don't know. This seal is beyond anything I know. It was done by Lord Fourth himself who's a master in. There isn't much I can do. We're gonna just have to wait and see. With a sad expression. Outside the house a little distance. Ni-chan why are we back here? Mei asked sighing. Because that kid's name is familiar, his chakra is familiar, that can't be a coincidence. Mei's sister replied never breaking concentration with the house and seeing the kid motionless but his stomach pulsing. Yes it can be. That's the very definition of it for your case. Mei replied. Oh shut up. Soon night came and the Redeeds were still watching the house very intently and didn't move until everyone finally fell asleep. Mei's sister finally stood up and moved towards the house, but Mei had other thoughts. The hell are you doing she said, grabbing her sister's arm. Betting that kid, he's got the answers I've been searching for, I know he does. She said with determination. Sigh you're a pain in the ass, you know that right? Mei said with a defeated expression before smiling. That's why I'm your sister. She replied smiling. Well then let's come up with a plan, we can't just sneak in and out. Their sensei is still A and we need to respect that fact. So what's the plan then? Well lucky for you I've got some knockout agents from Yagura's camp. So we sneak in, release the knockout agent, grab the kid and make tracks and cover them while we're at it. Mei said. So, we sneak in and sneak out. Shut up. Mei snapped back. I think that makes it a 73-72 advantage for me. Oh hush, now help me figure out how we cover our tracks. Mei replied. Well why don't we cover ourselves in it, mask up, and then move in. Have I ever mentioned how much I love your devious mind? Cause I fucking love it. Mei said smiling. You could stand to mention it a little more. Her sister replied, smirking. After 10 minutes they had masks on to prevent them from smelling the knockout agent and covered their clothes with them and soon executed their mission with ease. They slipped in and released the knockout agent to ensure they wouldn't wake up, grabbed Naruto, and soon left and didn't stop until they were back at their camp. Next day, Naruto. Naruto. Sasuke yelled, getting his sensei's attention who was still groggy but followed Sasuke's voice to see the commotion. What happened? Kakashi asked. He's gone. Sasuke said with anger in his voice with some tears streaming down his face and his fists clenched. Shit. Kakashi burst out the door and searched around the property and the nearby woods but couldn't find a trace of the blonde boy. Damn. He said under his breath. Where is he? Sasuke snapped. I'm sorry Sasuke. Kakashi said with a broken voice. Sorry, don't bring him back. Where the hell is my brother? He yelled. I don't know. Kakashi said, looking down and to the right. I'm sorry Sasuke, come inside, there's something we need to talk about. Kakashi is not even looking at him. Sasuke spat. Kakashi sat down with the rest of his team and finally revealed the truth of Naruto Uchiha. That seal you two saw on Naruto is a containment seal, it's holding something massive back from getting out. Like what? Sakura asked. You two were too young to remember this, but you've heard the stories no doubt. The village was attacked by the nine-tailed fox years back. Lord Fourth fought the beast and died to it, but not before sealing the beast within a baby born the day the attack happened, October 10th. Kakashi said, and Sasuke's eyes widened realizing where he was going. Naruto. He whispered, MHMM. Naruto was born that day and was the perfect candidate since his chakra network was still building itself as a baby. So Lord Fourth sealed it in Naruto, it was never revealed, but everyone knows it. The only reason people have acted nice towards him is because of being adopted by your parent Sasuke. I guarantee once it's revealed that Naruto's missing or even dead like I think he may be. Don't you dare say that. Sasuke snapped in anger and revealed his Sharingan. He's still out there, I know it. He said quietly trying to calm down. Either way they'll show their true feelings towards him, just watch. Summoning Jutsu, Kakashi said and Pakin and his group popped out. Hey Kakashi, long time. He said. Hey Pakin, can you search for Naruto's scent? Kakashi asked. Well I can't if you don't have something of his. Pakin said. But you just try, you've sniffed him before, you've gotta remember him. Sasuke pleaded. Alright, I'll give it a try. Pakin replied before sniffing the ground and air for a while and moving outside, but couldn't pick up anything. Sorry kid, I got nothing. Could he be dead? Kakashi asked. Death normally leaves a scent, but in his case we've covered it. Kakashi said, referring to the possibility of the blonde's death. Well then in his case he could be dead and leave no trace. Pakin replied, leaving Sasuke with a broken expression. How can he not have a scent if he's dead? Sakura asked. Since Naruto is when the beast is extracted or somehow escapes, the host body dies by turning to dust, so there's no scent or anything left of them. If it's extracted the beast lives and can be resealed into another body, but if it escapes then it goes away, and however many tails are on the beast is how many years it takes for it to reform. Again it's just a theory since no one has seen the beast escape the host. Really all of this is theory, no one has seen this happen. Kakashi said. So there's a chance? Sasuke asked. Yes, but you have better luck being struck by lightning on the same spot on the same day any amount of years apart. But that's nearly impossible. Sakura said. Exactly. I'm sorry Sasuke, we'll inform Lord Hokage as soon as we go home and I'll make sure a funeral is held for him. Kakashi said, but Sasuke didn't want to hear it as he quickly got up and went to the room he was sleeping in and began to softly cry before it turned to wailing and he fell asleep. Poor kid. Pakin said. Yeah, a rough way to really start your ninja career. Kakashi said. Sakura, pack your things so we can be ready to go home with the news. Kakashi said. Yes, sensei. She replied going to the room she was staying in and listened to Sasuke wailing before finally passing out. Poor Sasuke, I wonder how his brother and parents will take the news. She thought as she packed her things. The trip back to Konoha was a long and quiet one. The Land of Waves honored Naruto by naming the newly finished bridge after his sacrifice, and they declared the day of his death a national holiday to celebrate his selflessness to help strangers. When they arrived at Konoha Kitetsu, Izumo tried to greet them but noticed how downcast the group was. Kakashi, what happened? Kitetsu asked. Naruto was killed in the line of duty, we couldn't find the body. We're on our way to inform Lord Hokage, do not tell anyone until Lord Hokage has made an announcement about his funeral. Kakashi replied. Of course. Kitetsu nodded and returned to his post. Poor Sasuke, I wonder how his family is going to hold up. Izumo said. Yeah. Hokage office. Welcome back Team 7. How was the Miss Hiruzen started before noticing the absence of Naruto. Where is he? Hiruzen asked. Lord Hokage, Team 7 completed the mission. Unfortunately we lost Genin Naruto Uzumaki Uchiha, his body wasn't able to be recovered for burial. I asked did you prepare a service while I inform his family. Kakashi reported trying his hardest not to break. I see, thank you for your report Kakashi, I'll get a service prepared for him right away. Team 7 you will be put on the inactive list until a third Genin can be assigned to your team. Dismissed. Hiruzen said and Sasuke bolted out the door running home. Go ahead and inform his family Kakashi. Yes sir. Sasuke ran into his house and didn't say anything. He just went straight to his room wanting to be left alone while his parents looked confused. Sasuke honey, is everything alright? Where's your brother Naruto? Mikoto asked. She got no response. All she heard was Sasuke sob louder hearing his brother's name. They heard a knock on the front door and saw Kakashi standing there. Kakashi, what a surprise. What brings you here? Fugaku asked. I'm sorry Fugaku and Lady Mikoto. I failed, as a sensei, to protect Naruto. He was killed on our last mission in the Land of Waves. We couldn't find the body. Pakken tried his best, but couldn't find a scent. Kakashi said, not being able to look them in the eyes. What did you say? Fugaku asked, not believing what his ears just listened to. Sensei, and Lady Kushina's child, Naruto Uzumaki is dead. I have failed as a sensei and have lost your trust to protect anyone. Forgive me. He said. The Uchihas couldn't believe what they were hearing. They lost one of their sons. Granted he was adopted, but he's been with them since the beginning of his life. He was practically Uchiha in everything but blood. Mikoto broke down crying while Fugaku tried comforting his wife. Lord Hokage will be setting up a funeral service for him. My team has been put on the inactive list until a third genin can be placed on the team. Kakashi said. Fugaku and Mikoto didn't say anything, they continued to cry, comfort, and embrace each other. With his part being done, Kakashi left for his apartment to cry, as well. The last shred of family he had was taken away. He had gotten so much stronger, but it wasn't enough to save his sensei's child. Forgive me, Minato-sensei, Lady Kushina. I have failed you. I let your son die just like I let Obito, Rin, and the two of you die. Kakashi cried out. Land of Water. The two Redeeds finally made it back to their camp with the blonde knocked out and slung over the shoulder of Mei as Ao greeted them. What took you so long? He asked. Shut up, Ao. Mei snapped as she took the blonde to the tent she shared with her sister. So what's the plan? Mei's sister asked. We wait until he wakes up, then debrief him on the situation. Seal his limbs so he doesn't escape, would ya? Mei asked. Are you sure you just want to play the waiting game? Yes, now please do as I asked. I'm still your commanding officer. Only because I let you have the title, Mei, don't forget that. We're on equal footing. Just do it for me. Mei replied before leaving the tent. Alright. Can just do. Sajim Sabaku. The elder Redeed cried out as bright chains wrapped around Naruto and held him tight enough to keep him restrained, but not enough to hurt him. Alright, and one more around him should do the trick, even though I doubt he could get out of his one. Better to be safe than sorry. Can just do. Hachijim Smgai. An orange barrier formed around the tent before becoming invisible. While I'm at it, let me fix that seal of yours, kid. You're gonna let out something nasty if I don't. She said as she fixed the seal and it stopped pulsing. They're all better. For the next 2 months Naruto stayed unconscious but stable. The medical ninjas with Mei said the only thing they could do was wait and hope the boy comes out of the coma on his own. Naruto's mind. Where am I? What happened? All I remember is everything becoming dark. Oh, I must be dead. A deep voice said, no, that can't be. If I was, these damn bars wouldn't be here. Seems like the brat got some help. Kurama looked down to see Naruto laying in the ankle-deep water not responding. Hey brat, wake up, Kurama roared, but all it did was make the water ripple. Naruto stayed motionless. Must be in a coma or something. Kurama thought before he curled up into a ball and went to sleep to try and regain some power. In the 2 months that passed, Itachi became unstable and killed all the Uchiha members one night except for Sasuke and his girlfriend Izumi, who was out of the village on a mission. Itachi heard what everyone in the clan was saying about Naruto and it made him snap. Itachi told Sasuke he was seeking power to kill whoever killed Naruto and he needed to cut all ties with the village, but challenged Sasuke to hate him with every fiber in his being. To challenge him only when his eyes were like Itachi's and to get stronger since he was still a weak child and claimed to have always loathed him. This sent Sasuke off a cliff and he became power hungry. A man named Danzo Shimura presented one of his agents to become the third member of Team 7 and soon they were back on the active list and participated in the Chunin exams a month later where Sasuke was branded by Orochimaru. Orochimaru launched a surprise attack with a hidden sand and nearly killed the Hokage, but Tsunade Senju was in town and saved his life. She was visiting the graveside of her godson for the first time since hearing the news from Jiraiya of his death. The two Sannin eventually grew closer with their shared experience of losing Minato, Kushina, and now Naruto. This prompted Tsunade to finally make the decision to move back home and fulfill her wish of increasing the number of medical ninjas the village had so no one would lose a son or daughter like she and Jiraiya had. After the exams, Hiruzen stepped down saying he could no longer fulfill his role as Hokage as had a meeting with Jiraiya and Tsunade. One of you two needs to take my place as the Hokage. You two are both adults so you must decide between yourselves who will step up. With all due respect, Tsunade, I can't. I have the spy network to maintain to keep the village safe. You're home now and you could forcibly implement what you've wanted for so many years. Jiraiya said. What's that? Tsunade asked. Betting a medical ninja on every team so no family suffers what we have. Jiraiya said seriously, and his answer surprised her because she never thought he would remember how badly she wanted to increase the number of medical ninja in the village so each team could have one to prevent unnecessary deaths. You remembered. I will never forget. He said, getting up. I think it's clear who the 5th Hokage is, wouldn't you agree, sensei? Jiraiya said more than asked. Yes, Tsunade Senju, you are hereby appointed the 5th Hokage. All we need to do to make it official is to get the daimyo to agree. Do you accept it? He asked. Tsunade stayed quiet before turning to look at Jiraiya's back. He could feel her stare and turned around to smile at her. This action made her softly smile before turning back to her sensei with a fire in her eyes. She was going to carry out Nawaki, Dan, and Naruto's dream of becoming Hokage while carrying out her own by increasing the medical ninja field. I accept it. Very well, then let's get things started. Hiruzen said, smiling. Land of water. Finally Naruto was awakening. Mei. Her older sister yelled. What? She yelled back. He's waking up. Shit. Mei said before rushing to the tent and passing through the invisible barrier before heading inside. Naruto was stirring until he finally opened his eyes. Where am I? Who are you? He asked, still out of it. What's your name, kid? Mei asked. Am I my name? He repeated. Yeah, your name, what is it? She asked again. I don't know. He said. Damn, this is just like with Ni-chan. Mei thought to herself. Naruto didn't stay conscious much longer and passed out. Take the chains off of him, he's no threat. Mei said, and soon the sealing technique was undone. Naruto was unconscious for another whole week, and during that time Sasuke defected to Orochimaru and left his old friends on death's doorstep, even with them receiving help from the Hidden Sand sibling trio. Tsunade managed to get everyone out of critical condition, but they were still banged up. The only one who came out the least unscathed was Shikamaru with only a broken finger. But Naruto finally woke up for good, and after talking with Mei and her sister, he joined their group with the promise of training to become strong to protect his 2 fiery angels, as he put it. This definitely scored him some points in their books, not that he knew that of course. Mei promised to teach him his elemental ninjutsu, since he's a wind and water type, while her sister promised to teach him kenjutsu and genjutsu. Naruto was finally going to get trained by masters who truly cared about him and always had their eyes on him to make sure nothing bad happened. He still had his friendly attitude with everyone and soon came to be a light in the midst of the war they were fighting. He lifted their spirits by being someone who was okay with joking around from time to lighten the mood, but knew when to get serious. It was like this for the spring. They didn't get attacked once by Yagura, and in that time Naruto became very proficient with his seals and sword. His ninjutsu still needed some fine-tuning. He only had a few to go, but Mei wanted him to have plenty at his disposal, and he got much stronger physically, which helped his taijutsu out. It helped him greatly that his 2 teachers were cage-level ninjas, and add on that Naruto was a sponge to new material and seemed to pick up everything they taught him like a natural. He was basically a human cheat code. A little flawed, but he still makes such progress with everything he did that he soon enough became just short of a level ninja in his seals, sword, and taijutsu, while he was still a little off with his ninjutsu. Naruto Uzumaki was becoming a force to be reckoned with. A force that would help guide the Mist to peace in the near future. 4 long years have passed since Naruto's supposed death. Jiraiya has searched everywhere in the land of waves and the land of water, with the exception of Kiri who wouldn't allow him entry and nearly killed him over it. This was before Mei led the rebels to a victory over Yagura, who thanked Naruto for dealing out the killing blow. He gave Naruto a parting gift of sorts by fist bumping him, and he felt an increase in his chakra reserves. It had only been 2 years since the rebels freed their home and brought peace. Mei was picked by the people to become the 5th Mizukage. Naruto was now 22 and standing at 6'0" and had gotten married with Kushina who was now 42 but still looked to be 20, and neither one knew their relationship to each other. Naruto had progressed greatly with seals and swordsmanship under Kushina's tutelage while also becoming a formidable force with ninjutsu and taijutsu. Mei was now 26 and 2 years into her tenure as Mizukage and began dating Naruto after confronting Kushina about it, who was more than happy to include her sister. At first people didn't know what to make of it but learned to accept it considering it was their Mizukage and her sister in a relationship with one of their top men. As far as the people of the Mist were concerned, if 3 of their strongest shinobi were happy together, would they complain or say anything? Out in the Hidden Sand village, Gaara had recently been appointed Kazekage and was winning the people over and gaining their trust and love. Tsunade tried countless times to try and retrieve Sasuke while also making sure to never forget the memory of Naruto. Her and Jiraiya were now a married couple and Tsunade had given birth to twins. 1 boy and 1 girl, both had blonde hair like Tsunade but had Jiraiya's eyes. The 2 always mourned on the anniversary of his death where they had a makeshift grave for him. This was where they were right now holding their kids in their arms. I'm gonna try one last time to search for him, Haim. Jiraiya said with his face focused on the grave in front of him. But Jiraiya, you've already tried for 3 years now. As much as I hate to admit it, he's gone. We lost our Naruto. She replied with tears forming. No, I can feel it. He's out there and I'm going to find him. There's still one nation I never checked. He said, looking at Tsunade and wiping away her tears. Kiri? She asked. Yeah, they got done with their civil war and I've been waiting to check there just in case. You really think he's out there, Jiraiya? She asked. I do. Then I hereby grant you permission to search for him. She said with a small smile. When I find him I'm gonna train him for a while. I need to pass on his family legacy to him. After I do that I'll return home, but I'll always stay in touch with you three, I promise. Jiraiya said. Alright, take care, Jiraiya. Tsunade said, getting up and kissing her husband. I'll see you guys real soon, take care of mom for me, okay you two? Jiraiya asked his kids with a smile, who both smiled back and nodded. Good, make me proud of you too. I love you. He said, hugging them and then hugging Tsunade. I'll miss you. She whispered. So will I, Haim, so will I. He replied before letting go and leaving. 1 week later, Mizukage Tower. So Mizukage-sama, what's this important mission you have for us? Naruto asked, walking in with his wife Kushina. You know you can just call me Mei, right? She replied with a smile. Well yeah, but this is supposed to be formal and you are my commander, so I feel like I should show you respect, Mizukage-sama. He countered with an ear-splitting grin. Kushina-chan, help me please. Mei begged. But what, Mizukage-sama? She sarcastically asked with an equally ear-splitting grin plastered on her face. You suck. Mei deadpanned. Pretty damn good too. Naruto chimed in, laughing with Mei slamming her head on her desk. You two are gonna be the death of me. She grumbled. Anyways, this mission isn't an official one, off the books, covert, no one will ever know. Clan business. Mei said seriously. The other Uzumaki straightened up and became serious. What's the job? Kushina asked. Go to our homeland and see what you can find. I have a feeling there are some secrets still hidden back home and I'd like for us to have them in our clan archives. Now part 2 of this mission is to infiltrate Konoha to the Uzumaki clan mask storage temple. Bring them home and any other things you can find, bring it home. If you need to break into the village archives, do it and get the information back here for us. Once I retire I want the 3 of us to rebuild our clan on our home island. Mei explained to the shock of Naruto and Kushina. Are you sure? Naruto asked. More than I've ever been. We'll get it done. I don't know how long it'll take, but you can count on us getting this done. Kushina said. Dismissed. Mei nodded to them and then they heard a knock on the door. Come in. Mei said as Kushina and Naruto turned to the door. When it opened, a tall man with white spiky hair walked in and was floored at who he saw. Hey Kushina. He yelled. Her, and Naruto got into a defensive position while Mei stood up and was ready to go. Who are you? Kushina asked. You're actually alive. He said as his breathing became unsteady. Who are you? Kushina asked again with an edge in her tone. Jiraiya took a deep breath before he began explaining. My name is Jiraiya Senju, husband to Tsunade Senju the Godame Hokage, student to the Sandame Hokage, and sensei to the Yondame Hokage, and godfather to Kushina Uzumaki's child, Naruto Uzumaki, who unfortunately passed away 4 years ago in the Land of Waves on a mission. Jiraiya said, and Naruto's eyes grew wide along with Kushina's. The mother and son looked at each other before looking at Jiraiya. What? What did I say? Jiraiya asked. My name is Naruto Uzumaki, and Kushina here is my wife. Naruto said to Jiraiya in shock. You married your mother? He yelled. I'm sorry Jiraiya, but to me I never had that relationship with her. I've only known her as the woman who's helped me train and the woman I fell in love with. What the hell is going on here? Kushina yelled. Everyone sits down. Mei said as she let out a sigh. Kushina, 22 years ago I was traveling around in Konoha with my family when a huge 9-tailed fox was going on a rampage. Then after a short time it was gone. When I went there I saw a yellow-haired man similar to Naruto's, but much longer, and a woman with beautiful, long, red hair and a gaping hole in her abdomen. You were dying, but not dead, so my parents were medical nin, and they did what they could to stabilize you, and used a seal to keep you in your condition, until the seal was lifted. When I came back here to the land of water, we had the medical staff work on you, while a seal was created to help your cells rebuild. After a week of doing everything we could we finally got you out of danger, and you were out for 5 months. When you came to you had no recollection of anything, and we took care of you, and soon we became like sisters, as we grew up and fought together. I never knew how to bring it up to you so I didn't, I just did my best to be the best little sister I could be to you. Mei said. Kushina was at a loss for words and walked up to Mei, who thought she was going to be pissed, but was surprised to find her head in Kushina's bosom. I don't care about Mei. I've had a wonderful life here with you and Naruto. Even if I can't remember my childhood it doesn't matter to me. I have everything I could ever want with you too. I love you Mei. She said. Thank you Shina-chan. Mei said, hugging her back. What about Naruto? Jiraiya asked. According to everyone I know back home, he was labeled as a casualty on a mission to the Land of Waves a few years ago, and his body was never found. We were coming to the land of waves to seek help from the leaf in our civil war, but saw a huge fight with Naruto using some type of red chakra. He passed out, and we took him back here and nursed him back to health in hopes that we could use his great power to end our civil war. It paid off seeing as now my country is free. Naruto also suffered memory loss and only remembers the past 4 years with us. Mei explained. Jiraiya took one look at Naruto again and saw Minato in him. You know, you look just like your father's kid. Same shaggy yellow hair and brilliant blue eyes. I'm sorry I wasn't there for you. He said, getting on his knees and bowing to Naruto much to the blonde's shock. Please stand up. I may not remember you or anything past 4 years ago, but I can tell you aren't lying. Is Kushina really my mother? He asked as Jiraiya looked up and nodded. Naruto turned to Kushina and asked her. So what do you make of all this? He asked. Without skipping a beat, she walked up to her tall husband, grabbed the front of his uniform and smashed their lips together. I don't give a damn about the past. When I woke up I became a new person, and so did you. I married you because I fell in love with you. I don't care if we are technically mother and son, right now you're my husband and that's all I'll ever see you as. She said after they separated. I love you too, Shina-chan. He said with a smile. So why have you come here, Jiraiya-sama? Mei asked, finally remembering his title as a sage. I came here looking for Naruto, but I see that this no longer matters. He doesn't remember who he was and he most likely never will, so that's just something I'll have to live with along with Tsunade. My mission was to bring him back home, but I just can't do that anymore, seeing as he's starting a family. Jiraiya said. So then you'll be leaving? Naruto asked. I guess so. Jiraiya replied. Hang on, is it true that you're a sage? Mei asked, just wanting to confirm. Yes, that would be correct. Is it possible to teach any of us here how to become a sage? Mei asked. Maybe, I'm sure I could teach Naruto and maybe Kushina, but I don't think anyone else. He replied. What's a sage? Naruto asked. A sage is someone who's mastered the art of using nature energy. Normally you're taught that you have physical and mental energy which when fused create chakra. Nature also has energy and learning how much to take and how to use it can benefit you and enhance everything about you in battle. Jiraiya explained. That sounds awesome. Naruto exclaimed with wide eyes. You think you can teach me? He asked. You think you can keep up? Jiraiya snapped back with a grin. No doubt about it. What do you call Kushina? Wouldn't it be great? He asked his wife. Sounds like fun, I'm in. Great, I'll begin teaching you guys immediately. He said with a grin. What about our mission, Kushina? Naruto asked. You're right. Could it wait until after our mission? She asked the sage. I guess, but how long is it gonna take? He replied. Don't know, we need to go to the ruins of Yuzu and collect any info about our clan that we can get and then do the same in Konoha. Naruto informed. So I'm guessing you need to infiltrate my home to get this data right. Pretty much. Well now you won't, I'll get you inside the village so long as you promise to let me train you. We'll agree so long as you promise to make sure Konoha doesn't know we're alive, we don't need any headaches right now. Naruto countered. You got yourself a deal. Just let me visit you guys from time to time, okay? Jiraiya said with a grin, to which Kushina and Naruto both nodded in agreement. Great, I'll be waiting for you guys at the gates of your village. Take your time, it sounds like we'll be searching and traveling for a while. Jiraiya replied. Right. See you at the gates. Naruto said as he and Kushina walked back to their home, both thinking about the fact that they were mother and son. They didn't care because it was their old life they don't remember, but at the same time it made them both blush that somehow they were reunited and got married. 15 minutes later. Ready? Naruto asked. You know it. Kushina replied with her hair tied up in her high ponytail with strands framing her face. Then let's do this. He said, grinning at his wife, getting her to blush as she nodded, and they left hand in hand ready for their mission to the homeland. At the front gates Jiraiya was waiting for them and figured they had some alone time and couldn't help but tease them. So you two lovebirds finally wrapped up your contest. And hearing this made the couple blush as Jiraiya laughed before they turned to head out. Well, let's not waste any time then. The sage said with a huge grin as he led the way. The end. Thanks for watching my video and make sure to check out the author of this fanfic. Link is in the description. See you next time. Till then, sayonara.